Hello everyone, it's Momo here. Welcome to my channel. This time we are celebrating the traditional festival of Karva Chauth. This is the map of North India. Not exactly covers the states where Karva Chauth is celebrated, but the difference is only by 1 or 2 states. That's why I'm using this map. Sorry, I don't know how to make my own map yet. I'm also listing the states where this festival is celebrated on the right side of the map. This is a very important festival in North India. It's a women's festival, celebrating the love between husband and wife. Wives will pray for the long life and well-being of their husbands. They also fast for 1 whole day from sunrise to moonrise. Yes, you heard it right. Wives fast and pray for the long life and health of their husbands.
Very good. Very good.
How lucky to be the husband, right? Exactly my thought. My first impression was that, because in North India, usually women's rights were more oppressed compared to the South. That's why this festival was more prominent. And then the people who were celebrating it were unconsciously falling into the trap of patriarchalism. Think about it. Why only the wives have to fast and pray for the long life of husbands, right? Why husbands didn't need to pray for the health of wives, right? For me, it reflected the unbalanced power in the relationship, manifesting the dominant role of husbands in the family. As a hardcore feminist, also as someone first time hearing about this festival, at the beginning, it was not easy for me to accept this festival as it was. I was worried that with the celebration, women's rights were violated. At least the current husband-wife status quo in the North was going to be enhanced, which would ultimately hamper the progress of the feminism movement. Drawing from my own understanding, I was also afraid that women were damaging their health by fasting, and some households might be forcing their daughter-in-laws to fast, so as to save money on her food. Coming out from China, I'm very familiar with how a patriarchal society looks. Sisters always get less than brothers. Less food, less toys, less clothes, lower in both quantity and money value. Daughters usually get way less investment in her education and development compared to sons. It was much easier for me, a person who was not native to Indian culture, to accept festivals that featured the power of goddesses like Durga Puja, Kali Puja, and Lakshmi Puja, etc., but not festivals like Karva Chauth. Actually, my own in-law families, they don't celebrate this festival because they reside in the east part of India. There are similar festivals like this, I'm pretty sure. The reason this festival, Karva Chauth, got into my life is because some of my friends are from north part of India. November 2018, when I was in Delhi traveling, I joined a Karva Chauth prayer gathering with my friend, as well as participated in the celebration party hosted by my cousin sister-in-law later in the night. November 2019, when I was at home in California, my neighbor is a Delhi girl. She and her friends hosted the prayer gathering, and I was lucky enough to be invited. My friend, the woman who took me for the first Karva Chauth function ever in my life. Now she and her husband moved to San Francisco. This festival is very important in her family and culture. So this November, I also celebrated Karva Chauth with her. In fact, 1 week before Karva Chauth, my neighbor pinged me in WhatsApp to discuss this year's celebration. It turned out that she and her friends all prefer to have the prayer by themselves, instead of gathering, due to the pandemic outbreak. It seems like no matter if my in-law family celebrates Karva Chauth or not, I'm going to celebrate with my friends here and there every year. Karva Chauth will be part of my adopted Hindu life anyways. To be honest, for the past 2 years, I joined the events as an outsider and observer due to my curiosity. I fathomed it could be such a fortune to be invited into the authentic celebration of unfamiliar cultures. Therefore, really get into it and really understand it. However, I haven't done any fasting for both of the years. In fact, I haven't done any fasting for any of the Hindu festivals I ever participated before, simply because my in-law family never asked me to. Instead, my in-laws always urge me to eat on time and eat well. They love to see me take good care of my health. There were some events that required my mother-in-law to fast. Some happened to be the time when she was here with us in America. She just did it quietly all by herself, never even bothered to tell me more details. When I asked, she said, "I'm okay. I'm old. It's good to fast sometimes. But you are a baby. You are my child, so you don't need to fast at all." This slightly obscure attitude toward mothers on fast seems to be kind of common nowadays in India, resulting from the ongoing feminist thinking awakening. A lot of people started questioning if letting their mothers fast is a truly good idea for their health, since malnutrition and health negligence happens way more often to women, who are holding sharply lower social status than men. During the prayer gathering for Karva Chauth, when I told my friends that I wasn't fasting, they just replied, "Oh, okay," without further inquiry. Because it was completely my freedom, they respected, just the same as I respect their freedom to fast. Derived from my own prejudice, I subconsciously connected wives fasting and praying to the behavior that is subjected to sexism. However, after observing my friends who truly enjoyed this festival, I started to question. All of my female friends, like the friend who first introduced me to Karva Chauth, right before the prayer gathering, she was wearing a sari, all dressed up and driving a giant jeep in the street of Delhi, showing full confidence. And yeah, we had a lot of fun on this one. Her husband is a successful entrepreneur in Silicon Valley who founded a fast-growing startup, a rising star indeed. However, she didn't rely on his help, but steadily built up her own organization, bringing the beautiful and rarely seen culture from her birthplace to the world, helping to mobilize and liberate the women from the mountains. And take a look at my cousin sister-in-law and her friends in Delhi. They are all working women. They all have their own professions and all financially independent. My sister-in-law's tall friend, this beautiful lady, has also been running for elections in Delhi, wishing to join politics. And according to my observation, their relationship with their husbands are equal and modern, as admirable as any happy couples I've ever seen in different parts of the world. By the way, that's the true face of the middle class in metropolitans in today's India, actually. And my friends in America, these amazing ladies who all work in Silicon Valley's high-tech companies, some of them in high-ranking management roles. Almost all of them have master's degree in technology or management. And most importantly, they are all somewhat feminist. In or out of the closet feminist, as I put it. Like my husband, I call him in the closet feminist, who is still needing a bit time to come out of the closet, but judging from his behavior and thought patterns, yes, he is a feminist. Yes, I talked with most of my female friends if I had a chance, very directly, as you know me, so I know. So, hence my question is, my feminist friends, why they are willingly being subjected into the customs that are seemingly sexist? Why don't they feel it's not okay to fast and pray for the husband's long life, while the husband doesn't need to do the same? Are they feeling oppressed? For the cultures and customs that one is not native to and not familiar with, just based on some shallow impressions, a lot of people tend to judge it from a higher moral ground, perceiving oneself to be more liberal and more progressive, putting oneself into the mindset of a savior. A lot of people tend to impose their own opinions on the others from different cultural backgrounds, without fully understanding the other cultures. This is some fundamental human trait, a mistake that all of us humans keep making over and over again throughout human history. Therefore, my early judgment on the festival of Karva Chauth Is it a prejudice built on misunderstanding and ignorance? No matter what, I think I took the first step by asking questions and starting to think it over. As I was digging more into it, I gained more knowledge and understanding on the concept of fasting. First of all, I got myself familiar with the origin of the concept of fasting. Fasting exists in all of the major religions in the world. Different branches of Christianity and Catholics, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, etc. and etc. The Taoism that originated in China also required intense fasting to obtain immortality. Each religion has its own rules. What can one eat? What cannot? Is water allowed or not? Which festivals require fasting? For how long? At what exact time? Etc. etc. Although they are derivatives of the method, the purpose of the fasting tends to be similar across religions. Obtaining purity in the body, hence the spirit. So to better pray to or serve the god or goddesses. Gluttony, which means excess greed or lust for food, is considered to be a major sin across different religions. Secondly, I realized fasting is only a form that has no indication to the core relationship between husband and wife. Because fasting is only a religious behavior. It's not pertained to gender. It's surely not an act designed to keep women oppressed. The woman who fasts in Karva Chauth, the action of fasting itself, has no correlation to being anti-feminism. But if the woman truly accepts her unequal family status and views her husband as godly and higher in command, if the woman truly believes that her well-being is less important than her husband's, her existence is merely an extension to her husband's, then the celebration of Karva Chauth for that individual family is soaked in sexism for sure. However, each family has their own situation. It could be completely different from each other. Labeling the festival of Karva Chauth or the activity of fasting to be unprogressive and illiberal, it's making a generalization and suspiciously stereotyping. Take my friends and family for example. All of them are financially independent and emotionally mature. Their husband-wife relationship is based on mutual respect and understanding. So when they pray for their husband's health and prosperity, there's hardly any difference to how you and I pray for the health and well-being of our parents, siblings, and family members. It doesn't matter if the person prays on a specific festival or not, if the person fasts or not on that festival. The core relationship between husband and wife has no cause-effect relation to the formalities. On the other hand, for the couples who are already in an unequal relationship, the reality is not going to change due to the festival. The reality of wife being the victim of marital inequality, emotional suppression, or even physical abuse by the husband, abuse by other in-law family members like mother-in-law or sister-in-law, abuse by the society that treats this inequality as a norm. It's not going to change if you fast or not. The only feasible path to lift up women's social and family status, in my opinion, is that women have to fight for their own rights, gradually, over time, little by little. In time, a woman has to find independence and self-worth from other places like the workplace, a career of any sort, or just something she's good at, a friend circle that is in favor of her, etc. Somewhere that gives her validation and fosters her self-respect. According to my observation, some of the best tactics for feminism movement are to unfold quietly and steadily over the course of time, but mainly in family and social structures, most probably not applicable in professional fields. The most effective way to achieve is not to outthrow the current social setups overnight, but to somehow maintain a healthy social and family relationship, while secretly growing bones and muscles for future negotiation. However, this is under the circumstance that women's rights are not violated by ongoing violence of any sort or outright exploitation. From a different angle, unequal family relationships, as how we define equal in the 21st century, it's not automatically an indicator for lacking warmth and affection among the family members. Most probably, spontaneous and passionate romantic flame is lacking. Because to make that kind of a spark, one crucial condition is that the couple should consider each other as equal and be mutually intrigued by the counterpart's ability and prowess. However, if the wife treats her husband with high regard and views him as the one who takes care of the whole family, vice versa, if the husband credits his wife for holding up her designated roles in the family, as a loving wife, a nurturing mother, a respectful daughter-in-law, etc., this is also a functional model for husband-wife relationship which could lead to harmony and happiness. Therefore, in a so-called unequal relationship, if there's no violence and exploitation, you can't say for sure that the couple is unhappy, needing your savior. At the end of the day, we all think differently and want different things. The path to self-salvation is one's own path to take. Only one can do it for yourself, nobody else. The truth is, for thousands of years, the husband and wife relationship in India has been built on this model. A model where each family member has his and her distinctive roles. And then the roles for men are definitely more essential, more important, and more respected by the family and society. This traditional family model has always intertwined with culture and religion, acting as the bedrock of social morality in India. Generation after generation, people have been protecting this social structure as part of their culture and heritage. Thus, it is unrealistic to break down the structure overnight so to serve the feminism movement. And it surely would do more harm than good to society if change happens too fast. Talking from a Chinese perspective, in modern history, China's drastic social changes only brought turmoil, but hardly progress. I don't think this is the path the feminism movement should take. In fact, the feminism movement in India also rarely focuses on demolishing the current social structure in a short period of time, but seeking a way for improvement and reformation. For example, pushing reforms in the legal system to make more inclusive laws to better protect women's rights, to make more efficient legal procedures to better deliver justice to the hurt ones. For example, raise awareness about violations on women's rights, raise funds to make more girls educated. As a matter of fact, dialogues in different styles, themed conferences, news reports and analysis, books, movies, TV series, documentaries, talk shows, YouTube videos, social media groups and posts, even advertisements are part of feminism awareness efforts. And all these dialogues are playing an important role in changing the landscape of India's social structure gradually. Got a little carried away by the topic of feminism. It's always been my number one topic. So whenever I get a chance, I like to put my 2 cents down.
I just have one line to say. Although I'm a man, I don't completely understand women's struggle. But I'm totally on your side. Keep on fighting, women. Keep on fighting, women.
Okay, back to today's topic. This is my second realization. Fasting is only a form that has no indication to the core relationship between husband and wife. My third realization. I've learned how Indians really feel about fasting. In India, fasting has traditionally been seen not only as an act of religion, but also a health method. By fasting, people believe they give time for the body to detox and cleanse, removing toxins that are accumulated in the body over time, which could be potentially harmful for long-term health. For one fasting cycle, the body could reboot and start again, clean and fresh. This is especially true for seniors. Indian people believe as older you get, the ability to digest food decreased. It's very common to find Indian elderly reduce food intake significantly, especially meat, oily and fatty food, so to keep fit and achieve a long life. Actually, majority Indians, when they are getting a little older, usually 45 to 50 years old, will switch to a pure vegetarian diet, if they were not a vegetarian earlier in life. In this way, not only their body could be cleaner and healthier, their mind is also getting purified. This is the reason why Indians are not likely to connect fasting to rights violation. Rather oppositely, most Indians consider fasting a fine and healthy act for body and mind, and they would love to find excuses such as various festivals to conduct it. Fourthly, I've gained a broader understanding on the way people celebrate this festival, financial-wise. It turns out most households spend additional money on the wife and daughter-in-law during this time. Women are likely to receive gifts from their husbands, mother-in-laws, and friends. Gifts such as fancy saris, jewelries, makeups, etc. are usually given by the husbands. Wives will love to wear them during the prayers and gathering, so to show how much she is loved. The prayer thali, the metal plate, with sacred pot, sieve, sweets, diyas and all, usually is prepared by the mother-in-law. She gives it to daughter-in-law as a gift. Every year, a new set. Mother-in-law is also in charge of preparing her daughter-in-law the ground breakfast before the fast. Breakfast is put together in another thali called sagi. It better be ground with all kinds of tasty bites. The dinner to break the fast is also usually a big one, prepared by the husband or mother-in-law. Therefore, to think that people are saving money on women's food is far away from reality. At the end of the day, it's a festival that belongs to women, for them to enjoy and feel happy about. And lastly, I've also realized, traditionally during the fast, women who have no outside work usually sleep the day off by not doing any house chores. Family members also don't expect them to work. The only thing she needs to do is to dress up and join the prayer event in the evening. If you are that woman, is that a tough choice to make? Yes, no lunch, but in return, no house chores and tons of gifts and fun. Not only the misunderstanding on fasting was cleared, I also digged more into the origin of the festival. Karva Chauth is mainly celebrated in North India because according to one of the folk tales, it originated in the time of Mughal invasion. Men were at the border fighting Mughal armies, so to protect their family, women and children were left at home to pray for the men's victory and safe return. So each year there was one day, women would love to dress up with colorful new clothes, make a lot of sweets and spend a day together. They would fast from sunrise to moonrise to pray for the warriors who were fighting the war. This origin is especially popular among the Sikhs and Kshatriya in North India, who are the warriors traditionally. Just like all of the festivals and mythologies in India, Karva Chauth also has multiple origins. One of the other popular ones is, in ancient times, a new bride was sent far away from home to her in-law family. It could be really lonely and considered unhealthy for her well-being. The solution was to assign a guard sister to her. The guard sister would talk to her daily, help her be familiar with in-laws' culture and customs, share her secrets, etc. Therefore, Karva Chauth in some areas in the north is a festival to celebrate sisterhood. The bride, Her god-sister and other women in the family and neighborhood will start purchasing new saris and jewelries weeks before. A few days before Karva Chauth, they will paint the clay pot with colors, make a lot of homemade sweets to put in the pot. They will also draw mehendi on their hands and feet so as to enjoy the festivity. On Karva Chauth day, they will exchange the clay pot full of sweets, in this way passing their gifts and appreciation to one and another. It's the love among women that they are cherishing and celebrating during Karva Chauth.
I have to say, after observing this much Indian festivals, I've come to understand one thing: why people follow traditions with such zest.